This week on The Grind, we're hunting in western Saskatchewan with Prairie Limits Outfitters.
I yearn for a place to call my own. I'm going home. Say what you will, I'll be better for it still. I've been wondering what you're doing with your time, just to get you off my mind. I'm in the grind.
The Grind Waterfowl TV is brought to you by Dakota Decoy, premium gunning decoys for demanding hunters. Lucky Duck, masters of deception. Kent Cartridge, quality matters and performance counts. Mud Buddy, the king of mud motors. Excel, the boat to own. Cornerstone Gundog Academy, the most accessible online retriever training program. Yoder Smokers, handcrafted in the heartland. Sitka Gear, turning clothing into gear. Rig 'em Right Waterfowl, the industry leader in specialty waterfowl products. OnX Hunt, know where you stand. Benelli, simply perfect. And these fine sponsors. This segment is brought to you by Dakota Decoy.
So September rolls around and we're pretty excited. We're going to get our season started off and we're headed to Saskatchewan, Canada. We're going up with Ben Webster and Brian Kramer at Prairie Limits Outfitters. It'll be our second year up there. This year we decided to go, I believe, almost 3 weeks earlier than we went last year. So we got there the day before. The boys all went out and scouted, and that's one thing these guys do. They scout, they have multiple guides, and they log hundreds of miles daily finding feeds for their clients, and boy, they found us a good one.
The first morning brought us fog, and you never know what you're gonna get with fog.
As we were setting up, the fog, it was a goofy fog because it would drift in, then it'd drift out, clear out, and then it'd drift back in. So we knew we were gonna have some difficult conditions. We had zero wind. Typically when you have fog, there is no wind.
Hey guys, it's Ben Webster, Prairie Limits Outfitters, out here with The Grind. We're setting a bunch of the new Dakota Extreme Lesser full body decoys. We are setting some snow full bodies as well. Gonna run some Lucky Duck spinners. It's kind of a big combo feed. A bunch of darks, bunch of snows, bunch of ducks. In a green feed is what we call it here in Saskatchewan, but it's a barley field. And we're hoping for a good morning. We got not a lot of wind, got fog, kind of a mist going on, but it still should be a good morning. Stay tuned.
We're right out in the middle of this cut field, and layout blinds are hard to hide. You think you're well hid, but they stick out so much on those big wide open fields. We use box blinds. What you basically are doing is creating a great big brush pile out in the middle of the field. And for some reason, the birds are not onto these things totally yet. They'll pick out a layout blind out there right away, but you brush these things up. We had two 10-foot blinds end to end and cut lots of tree branches, still leave tree branches, and we just made one big brush pile, and very, very effective. Easy to shoot out of too.
Kill him. Nice.
Hank.
Perfect. Get a runner. Good dog, good dog. Get him, boy. That's awesome.
So this was going to be a fun hunt, kind of a bittersweet hunt for me. The last really 5 years, we'd been hunting with Max, but Barton decided it was time for him to retire. Max was going to be 10, time to break in a new one. So we picked up Hank the Tank. He's a 4-year-old yellow from Southern Oak Kennels North, and he was Wally's personal dog. So we were in week 2 with Hank, and it was our first hunt with him, and I think once we got Hank in the field and he saw that I was going to take him hunting, I think he's pretty pleased he's with us this year. We're on our opening hunt here in Canada with Ben Webster, Brian at Prairie Limits Outfitters, and We're starting off the day pretty good here. We've had a lot of rain up here. It was muddy ride coming in. We didn't know if we had a duck shoot. Ben didn't know if we had a duck shoot or a goose shoot, but it's turned into a heck of a duck shoot. And we got Hank from Southern Oak Kennels, and it's our first run with him. So he's learning me, I'm learning him, but we'll learn each other. He's looking like he's gonna be a machine. He's a big bruiser, but nice dog, steady.
Go on, guys.
Hank!
Nice.
That was good. Just had a group of about 20 come in, knocked a handful down.
This segment is brought to you by Mud Buddy and Excel Boats.
Oh yeah. All right, 1 o'clock. Bill, come on, Bill.
Go on.
Hank!
Nice.
Good shooting. Good shooting, partner.
Hank! Good, good. Here. Did that other one go down behind us?
Yeah.
Oh, here, kennel. Yep. A lot of hens.
We're good at that.
Where are they?
Kill him.
Hank?
Look at those feathers. Oh, that look awesome. It's like right where we left off. It's great to be back in Canada. Birds are all over us this morning. Everybody's shooting good.
Here.
Here we go.
Right in front. You ready?
Kill him. Nice.
Good shooting.
Hank!
Cleaned up that bunch.
Yeah,
That was good.
that was good shooting there. I think my first pull I got 2.
You might have, but I know you
Yeah.
got that last one.
Yeah. Hank!
Good old Bill. Smoked that last one. More ducks to the left.
Good. Good.
We got no wind really this morning. Birds are coming from behind us and they're trying to land from behind us. Not really liking something, so we wanted to get them out a little farther. There's a better camera angle and better shot opportunity. Instead of having them at 3 yards, we'll shoot them at 10.
Hunting in the fog, it's goofy. You hear the birds, sound carries really well in fog. You can hear them coming for a long ways. And it's strange because you hear them coming, they hear you calling, but all of a sudden they pop out of the fog and they see the decoys. And it startles them just for a bit. I don't know if they aren't expecting to see anything with the sound. It's goofy, but they do. They get startled a little bit and they kind of peel off, and then you have to work pretty hard to get them back, which we did a really good job of. Oh, oh yeah. Stay. Oh. Some babies in there. Here they come back around behind us. Right over us right now. Right in front. Shoot him.
Yeah.
Get him. Hank. So there were several times out there we'd have lessers working there, so maybe some ducks, and a little bunch of snows would pop up, and everyone loves snows. I don't care what anyone says, everyone loves shooting snow geese. And the good news is we saw a lot of juvie birds this year. The first morning we shot, I believe, all Ross geese, and probably 75% of them were juvie Rossies. So snow goose hunters, get ready. I think we're in for a better year this year. That was cool. My day is complete. Good, good. Here, leave it.
Good boy.
Good boy. Snows. Snows, Ben. Snows right in front.
Kill him, guys.
Oh, good shot. Hank! Oh, I bought it, shells.
Did you send him?
Yeah. Here. Here. Good boy.
You find it?
Yep.
Hey. Yeah.
Good boy.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, good boy.
That was pretty cool.
Hey, good boy.
This segment is brought to you by Lucky Duck Premium Decoys.
Well, we're getting ready for our 2019 waterfowl season, and we've been shooting Benelli SB3s. This will actually be our second full season with them, with Carlson choke tubes. And we have a new ammunition sponsor, Kent Cartridges. So I want to see which one of these shot shells is going to perform best with what tube before we start the season off. I've got a long range and a mid range, and I'm going to start with the mid range. We've got it stepped off at about 30 yards, and we're going to be shooting a lot of geese with fast steel 2s, and then we also got some bismuth 4s that we're going to shoot at ducks. So we're going to start off with the fast steel 2s, see what we can do at 30 yards, excuse me. That's pretty good, but that's a dead bird. All the black is within the circle. We got a few scatters out here, but that's when we were messing around before. We're at 30 yards again. This is number 4 bismuth 3-inch through the same Carlson mid-range tube. See what happens. That's a lot of shot in the target. So that's pretty good. I mean, I might have been off a little bit. Obviously I was off a little bit, but that's a lot of pellets in the kill range there. That's 17.5 inch. That's number 4 bismuth mid-range tube at 30 yards. There's nothing gonna get away from that. So we're gonna switch over to the long range, and we've kicked it back 10 yards. We're at about 40 yards. So we're gonna do the same thing. First we'll shoot a fast steel 2, and then we're gonna shoot a bismuth 4 and see what we get. 40 yards, fast steel 2, long range tube. From here it looks good. As you can see, there's a lot of pellets. How many are in there? A bunch. That's a dead bird. All right, we just shot fast steel 2s, long range Carlson tube at 40 yards, and it was pretty tight. Now this is number 4 bismuth. I think this is gonna be a duck killing load. We're gonna give it a go. So here we go.
That looks like a lot of pellets.
That's a lot of pellets at 40 yards. When you can see them from 40 yards, there'd be feathers in the air. That looks good from here. Wow. That's number 4 bismuth, 40 yards with the Carlson long range tube. That is impressive. I mean, I'm too lazy to count them, but there's a pile of pellets in there. Once again, that's a dead bird. Better step your game up, Tim, because it looks like I'm on. So what's pretty exciting for me is when I actually step off 40 yards, I can't believe that I would ever even shoot at a bird that far. I know it's obviously very killable. I mean, even at 30 yards, you know, I look, wow, I mean, yeah, we shoot them there, I guess, but questionable. What's really exciting is I go back to 40 yards with this load, either fast steel 2s or number 4 bismuth, with probably either tube, but this long range tube, it's gonna be lethal. Well, we're on our first hunt of the year, the 2019-2020 grind season, and we're in Saskatchewan with Ben Webster and Brian Kramer from Prairie Limits Outfitters. And they had one of their guides scout this field out last night, so we weren't really sure what we had this morning. We thought it was going to be a lesser or a big Canada hunt, and it turned into a heck of a duck hunt. And we got my favorite birds coming too. We're picking up some snows. So last year Ben got us on the widgeon hole. This year it's a snow field. I love Saskatchewan.
There's now. Oh, the race is on. No way. He's got him.
That sucker's fast, isn't he? Hey, you smell? I wonder if there's another bird there. You see, he was trying. Oh, right in front, right in front. Hey. Get him, Benny. Get him. Here, Hank.
Nice boy.
Here.
Nice.
Hank. Here, buddy. Here. Good. Heel. Hank. That was pretty cool. We sent Hank on a long retrieve on a crippled snow, and we found out how fast he is. He's fast. And we looked up and there were 4 big honkers coming in from the front, and the killers from Michigan wiped them out. So, Hank, he's got to be tired.
This has been a really cool morning. We've got fog that's set in and still around. There's no wind. So you're hearing a lot of these snow geese, but not seeing them. And all of a sudden they're on top of you. It's like they're just dropping out of the fog. And it's a pretty cool hunt. But there's lots of snows around. We got some specks, some lessers, graders, and ducks. So it's been a heck of a morning so far with Prairie Limits.
Hey guys, I'm Barton Ramsey, and this is the Cornerstone Gundog Academy training tip. Today I want to talk about why it's important to feed a quality kibble. We feed Eukanuba Premium Performance because it has the level of protein and fat necessary to keep our dogs in shape through rigorous sessions of exercise, whether it's in the training season or the hunting season. It's important that we think of retrievers as athletes. They have a job to do, they love to run, and they need the appropriate nutrients in order to maintain body weight, drive, focus, and everything that you'll need in order to train your gun dog. This means it's worth the investment to pick a quality kibble to know that your dog has all that's necessary in order to keep going. If you skimp on your dog's food, you'll notice your dog unable to gain weight or unable to maintain weight through rigorous sessions of exercise. Quality kibbles also include ingredients that help dogs to be able to focus, that help to keep their coat nice and shiny, which is important for repelling cold water, and all sorts of things that will help your dog to be an all-around better retriever.
This segment is brought to you by Kent Cartridge.
It's funny, we go to Canada and in my mind, I always think of Canada and flat fields and not much terrain, but where we were, there's a lot of rolling hills and rivers and valleys. And this first morning, we're down in a river valley. The fog lifts and there's hills all around us. We're down really low, and it's just a really cool setup, not something you would typically picture in Saskatchewan. And it was a cool setup, beautiful area, just a very scenic place.
You know, we've had some great hunts. This is probably one of the best.
This is
serious. I mean,
if there had been some wind here.
We got snows, we got specks, ducks, lessers, graders, and no wind.
No wind.
Yeah.
Sound travels really well in fog, and you can hear everything. And so there were birds all around us. We could hear their wings, we could hear widgeon whistling. All of a sudden you'd have a bird from the right or the left.
And a lot of these birds got behind us. They'd come from back, over the top of us.
You weren't sure what to expect, and so it was a lot of a surprise element.
But it's interesting shooting when there's no wind. You just got to be prepared where they're going to come from, because they can surprise you coming over the back of you.
And it made for a really fun morning, fun shooting, and just a really fun hunt.
Can't see him.
One shot.
Good thing, Benny. Make fun of me for having one shell in my gun. Back, Hank. I couldn't. He was right here, and I just had to wait for him to. Get him, Tim. Kill him, someone. Yes.
Hey, good work.
That was great.
Our 2018 season was one of the hardest hunting seasons we'd had, and we knew going into the 2019 season it couldn't be much harder. We started it with a bang on that foggy September morning, and we couldn't be happier. A new four-legged hunting partner, some new places to see, and some new memories to come. What we didn't know is just how memorable the coming season would be.
Canada, man, head up here early. It's the only knock on it early is the ducks aren't completely colored up yet, but we did shoot some drakes that are starting to get some color. It's hard to pick them out, but you can't beat Canada. We'll be back every year, and Ben always puts us on the birds, never fails.
Next week on The Grind is a hunt to remember, and Prairie Limits Outfitters gets us on the mallards in a beautiful transition pond.